Hey Journalistas! DIY challenge is here. I promised this for a while with the texture paste, and I've been playing with it. I was trying to wait for some to dry, and I said, heck with it, I'm just going to do it and let it go. Because I was playing with different things, and I don't mind showing failures because you all need to know that. So I said, heck with it, we're just going on. We'll mix one up in a minute, but I just wanted to show you some things that I had fiddled with and came up with. Texture pastes. This particular texture paste, this one right here, is made with baby powder. This was the first one I made, and I thought it was a little too thin. Added a little bit more powder in and got that one. These are ones where I mix glitter in after the fact. I'm not much of a glittery person, so I didn't put a lot of glitter in there. But that's made with baby powder. This one right here, made with cornstarch. This is the glitter mixed in. Oops, I'm doing horrible. That's okay. This one right here, there we go, is made with baking soda. I like that one better because I like rougher textures. Of course, the baby powder and cornstarch is going to be a smoother texture. I like to have texture on mine, but that's the glitter mixed in. This is the one made with plaster. Yes, it is a little bit thicker. And the texture's not as rough. And that's with the glitter mixed in. And all those were different colors of glitter, by the way, if that matters. Then I played with some other stuff. Wasn't real happy. This one right here I made with a baking soda mixture because baking soda is my favorite. And I mixed some sand in, as you could see. The sand, you know, of course it's not all the way dry yet because I just decided to do that when I was watching Melody's Live on Jelly Plating, or Wild Wednesday. So I think what I need to do is add some more glue into that one. This one I made with nothing but, instead of using white glue, I use glitter glue. And there's the sample of the glitter glue. You can also get your same effects if you want glitter, just using plain glue. But I use glitter glue instead of white glue. Thinking it would be awesome to use the colored glitter and then maybe the paint of the color of the glitter might give us a different thing going on there. Trying to keep everything separate because I don't have my containers marked yet. This one right here, not all the way dry yet. This is made with colored paint instead of using the white paint, using the baking soda method. And then I took the baby powder texture paste and I sprinkled the glitter on top to show. That's not all the way dry yet. And it's not coming off. So sprinkling glitter on top of these DIY texture paste works wonderfully. Now, I will give you the recipes. Don't worry about that. We're going to do that. But if you want, I want to show you these. I ordered something and she sent me a little thank you note. And I decided to decorate it up using this was a cheap stencil from Dollar Tree, by the way. One of those that are sticky backed. Did this one first, did that one second. That's an envelope, of course, you could tell, and that's a piece of thin scrapbooking paper. I thought they turned out wonderful. This has been curing for about a week. So they are lasting, not coming off. The reason I'm going into detail on this is because this one is your easiest and fastest. My first attempt at glitter, I was doing some cardboard cutouts for things. That was some of my leathery paper things that I'd done. But I used a thicker glitter. And it doesn't really turn out as well. But you can see, this is that same one that I did with the envelope and that, showing you. It's bendable. Of course, this is on cardboard, so it's not hard to bend. That's just showing it plain. Give it a little texture and depth. Now, you ready for what that is? There you go. Go to Dollar Tree and get you a $1 thing of spackle. Lightweight spackle. $1. You can see where I was mixing my colors and things up on top. I just used the lid. That is what all of these are made with. That lightweight spackle. So you can mix your glitter in, your paint colors, whatever, with the spackle. Keep a solid here and mix them up as you need them. $1. And you already got everything at home. So, to me, that's the easiest and the fastest, and that is the one that I have used for years. I guess I should have brought out the ones that I've had for over a year. My texture paste, I did check them. They're all great. I had them all different colors, and then, you know, wasn't. So, here we go. By the way, these containers are extremely tight. You get 12 of them in a pack at Dollar Tree. These are extremely tight. These aren't as tight, but they are air. You know, it takes some pull off, but these liquid will spill out of. These will not. But texture paste won't be liquidy. So here we go. I'm just going to use my baking soda because it's the one that's sitting out here. So you put ratio 1.5, and I'm not a measurer, I'm sorry. So let's do this way. It's not what I'm doing, but for small amounts, because like I suggested when we did the gesso, mix you up some samples of them all. Find out what you like, and then make your big batch of what you like. So let's just sort of do it this way. 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. And that way we'll give you a recipe without 1.5 teaspoons of your base, 3/4 teaspoon of glue. And like I said, this isn't what I'm doing because I'm not measuring. I'm an eyeballer. I have a pretty good, easy way of doing that. I'm good at that. And I'm going to use colored paint because I've already got a white baking soda one. So you can use your white paint or colored, whatever. And then it would be, figured it out in my head, okay? 1/2 teaspoon of paint. Again, I'm not measuring out exact. I'm giving you a simple little recipe. And I'll give you the ratios. Then mix it up. Basic thing you needed, or your base needs to have more. And then just a tad bit of more of the glue than that. Now you can see where I mix those up, not measuring. Of course, it's going to happen sometimes, even if you do measure. That's a little thin. That's the wonderful thing about this. Just add in more of your base. Get it the texture that you want. I think I like that. Now, I do want to tell you all that because this is a DIY challenge, I am not using my stencils like I used up here. I've got all kinds of stencils. I've got all kinds of stuff. But I wanted to use DIY items. This was a little cardboard thing out of something I bought, cut off of a container or cardboard container. And that's what I made these other circles with. And I might get more than I need right now, but that's okay. And I'm using a cheap old popsicle stick, same one I use for all. And then I'm just gonna, pull that across. And remember, when you use texture paste, you need to go the same direction. Yeah, I'm using a little, I'm making a mess. I didn't make that kind of mess before. But see how that makes an awesome, and that's just a cheap little piece of cardboard that was free. So, then I just wipe off my extra there. So if you don't have a stencil shape that you want, you've got a punch, or you want to draw it and cut it out with your scissors, do it. Okay? You can get whatever shape you want and use this texture paste. Here's some. I'm just going to spread it with my finger. So if you're wanting to spread, you can spread whatever you would like. You make it the consistency that you like for your texture paste, whether thin or that. And as you can see, this is a little bit, it's going to dry a little bit smoother, but it's a little bit textury. That's what I like. That's why I'm using the baking soda, because I like the texture. Now, I have not tried this yet. It's a sink mat from Dollar Tree. I was just curious, would it work? I got it for to use for something else I'm going to try, dyeing my papers. But I'm just curious. Would this work? Oh, cool. Yeah, it does. Pretty neat. Makes little squares. Wouldn't that be neat? Put it on paper and just cover your squares for a layering effect. Pretty cool. And the great thing about all these DIY texture pastes, they clean up with just a little bit of water. Or I don't even use water. I'm using a napkin here. Napkin from the store. From a place we got food to eat. So there you go. We mixed one up together. I'm just wiping off my popsicle stick because I don't waste anything. You know me. If you've watched my videos now, you know I'm not a waster. I do not throw things away. I try to come up with whatever I can. Well, anyway, there we go. So, what I want to show you. Of course, I covered up my notes. Big batch. I guess you really don't have to see my notes, do you? Anyway, if you're making a big batch, whatever base you're using, whether it's baby powder, cornstarch, baking soda, or plaster, you would need one and a half cups, a half a cup of paint, and a fourth a cup of glue. So pretty much, and with plaster usually you need less, so use 1 cup. So that's what I was saying. If I use 1 teaspoon of plaster, a 1/4 teaspoon of glue, and a half a teaspoon of paint, that's a little mini one I can check and see if I like. 1 1/2 teaspoon of baby powder to 3/4 teaspoon of paint to about a 1/4 teaspoon of glue, give or take, a little bit more than that. So your ratios are basically 1 whole of your base, half with paint, and a 1/4 glue. And if you really stick with the plaster recipe, and then if it's too thin, add more of your base, you're going to be fine, okay? So 1 part your base, half part paint, a 1/4 part glue. And there you go. That's your DIY texture paste. I've used it for a while, years. Never had a problem. I have never bought actual texture paste because I figured, why do it? It can be painted, it can be sprayed, it can be colored. You can do whatever you want with your base colors. But I suggest make up little mini batches first, find out what you like best, and then go for it. See you later, Journalistas.